Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to our journey through the real book number 211, Little Boat, beautiful Bossa Nova, a lot of fun to play. And yes, we're going through the book one tune a week for 8 years, generally one tune a week. And I gave myself this project, an 8-year project, so that I couldn't avoid any tunes. You know, those Ornette Coleman tunes, or maybe some of the others that are just too hard and you just never got to, or how do I play that? This has forced me to address those and figure out some solutions to these musical problems. How do you play Ornette Coleman tunes on solo piano? Well, I had to figure out a way to do it, and it inspires me to keep going. So thanks for being here, because you inspire me as well, and hopefully it's mutual. So this whole series of online jazz piano lessons is designed to get us viewing jazz standards in sort of a holistic way, you know, not just necessarily the notes on the page, although that's our starting point, but getting beyond the notes on the page to play music, really, culturally, historically. What are these tunes about? So Little Boat is a beautiful bossa nova, and it's got a harmonic sequence, sometimes and melodic sequence, where it starts in B flat, and then it goes to this 2-5 in the key of D, and then instead of going to D, it goes down a half step to A flat major 7th. Kind of a deceptive resolution there, although not the textbook one, which would have been up a half step. So it goes down a half step, and then the whole sequence starts again. And then we have the 2-5 in C, and then it goes down another half step to G flat, or down another whole step rather. And then it's another 2-5. And then a lot of times, you know, with these harmonic journeys through the tunes, these chord progressions, if the beginning of the tune, or the majority of the tune in this case, is a little vague, like what key are we in? Oh, we're in B flat, now we're in D, then we're in A flat, then we're in C, now we're in G flat, now we're in B flat. What are we doing? They sort of bring it together for the fourth phrase. It's the fourth line down. It's just a regular in B flat, 3, 6, 2, 5. So we can experience that as we play it. So we start out with B flat, okay, that's the tonic. Then what goes on? Oh, what's that? Now a lot of tunes would go right back to B flat there. The standard I Remember You is sort of like that, but instead they go down to a new key. All right, that's our third key in 6 measures, fourth key in 8 measures, 5th key in 10 measures. Now we're heading back to B flat, and we stay there. It grounds us. So sort of like a boat, you know, little boat, sort of going here, going there, and, you know, sailing or whatever it is, and then coming back home. So we can use some of these analogies to help us play the tunes even. One thing that I love doing is taking the titles of these songs and maybe doing a little text painting. In classical music, it's called text painting, where we evoke something. Okay, so it's a boat, little boat. I don't know what the composers had in mind when they were writing the tune, but for me, I'm picturing it on some water, on a big lake or perhaps the ocean. And I can start using that as inspiration. We can use it as inspiration. So I'm going to start out of tempo. And I'm thinking sort of like some 20th century classical music, like maybe Vaughan Williams or Ravel or something, where I take a voicing. This is kind of an Ellington-like voicing too. So in B flat, let's see, I'll have a 9th between the outer voices. So I have a C and then D up here. And in the middle, I'll put, let's see, how about G and A? So I like these seconds and 9ths. Very Ellington-like too. Can arpeggiate that. Kind of gives a sense of rocking motion, like a boat on the water. Sort of be a little abstract, a little orchestral like that, and then see where it takes us, and then we can bring in the bossa rhythm at some point. So I'm going to start with that voicing. So it's a B flat, sort of major 13 or something, and I have C, G, A, and D. You know, it was funny, I was talking about Ellington before and these voicings, right? Where I started off by evoking sort of text painting, the waves and a boat on the water. Well, at the end, going from B flat major 7 up to the B 13, that reminded me of an Ellington tune called Heaven. Where he kind of does that. And sort of, and it's a bossa nova as well. It's from a second sacred concert in the 60s. And so I both played the ending as written here, which just starts on B flat, the tonic, goes up a half step to B7, and brought in an Ellingtonian voicing that's similar to what he does on this tune Heaven, and evoked the introduction that I had played before. So it was all that sort of lurking around in my subconscious, and it came out at the ending there. And since Ellington's one of my favorite composers and pianists, and I love that tune Heaven, kind of brought some meaning to me as a musician, brought in the kind of music that I love playing, and that's hopefully inspires you to do the same. You don't have to play like Ellington or Vaughan Williams like in the beginning, but who do you like? Is it Art Tatum or Bud Powell or Chick Corea or Diana Krall? You know, if you like Diana Krall, I would do something very almost minimalist. She's very beautiful melodic sense. She's one of my favorite pianists. So we can use our musical influences and idols to inspire us in our own way, just like they brought their, idols, influences in a personal way into their own music. So we're not speaking about the person Diana Krall was necessarily imitating herself even. You know, we go back 1 or 2 generations, but this chain of influence comes down way farther from the past than we think. You know, who influenced Bud Powell? Who influenced Jelly Roll Morton? You know, goes way back, but we can just tap into whichever part of that sort of daisy chain that we want to tap into. So thanks for joining me here. Good luck with your own music, and hopefully, let's see, we'll be with lines and spaces next week. Joe Lovano, number 212. So hopefully this inspires you to do your own thing with your music. And again, thanks for being here. Enjoy the journey and let the music flow.